Irwin Data Intelligence Suite, Getting Started with Mapping Manager. The agenda: creating and managing mapping specifications involves getting started with Mapping Manager and creating mappings. Getting started with Mapping Manager. Click on the menu icon to access Irwin Data Intelligence Suite modules. Go to Data Catalog and select Mapping Manager. Irwin Data Intelligence Suite, Creating Mappings. Viewing the Mapping Manager dashboard. Click on the projects icon. Click on Mapping Manager Dashboard. Statistics from your enterprise-level Mapping Manager will be displayed here. Mapping Summary will be displayed here, and the mapping status will be displayed here. The Proactive Impact Analysis Report is here, the Project Overview Report here, and the Mapping Classification Report will be displayed here. Mapping assignments will be displayed here. Source and targets that are not mapped are here. Test case status will be displayed here, along with the details of the project test cases, and details of user test cases will be displayed as well. You can create multiple maps under a project or subject area. You can perform source to target mappings and create mapping specifications under a map. Under Workspace Mappings pane, right-click on a project and select New Map option to create a new map. The new Mapping Wizard window appears, and you can enter the appropriate values in the fields. Fields marked with a red asterisk are mandatory and refer to the following table for field descriptions. Select Proceed with AutoMap or select Finish. When you click Proceed with AutoMap, you can create mapping specifications using AutoMap technique. When you click Finish, a map is created and saved in the mapping tree. You can create a mapping specification under the map using drag and drop method or graphical design. You can create mapping specifications using drag or drop method even when source column names are different from target column names. After mapping source to target, you can set the target update strategy and enter a description about the strategy. Click on Edit Specifications. Drag source or target table columns from Metadata Catalog and drop in mapping specification and ensure it should fall in the correct table and column. Click on Target Update Strategy to enter the update strategy description. Under the Workspace Mappings pane, click the required map. By default, it opens the Mapping Specification tab. You can use the graphical method to create mapping specifications when columns in the source and target have the same names or different names. Click Graphical Designer tab. Drag the source table column from the Metadata Catalog and drop it in the Graphical Designer. In the Graphical Designer, click the source table and specify it as source. Drag the target table from the Metadata Catalog and drop it in the Graphical Designer. In the Graphical Designer, click the target table and specify it as target. If the source and target have the same column names, click AutoMap. The source and target columns are mapped. If the source and target columns have different names, then drag your mouse from respective source column to the target column. Click on Target Update Strategy to enter the update strategy description. To create mapping specifications using AutoMap, in the Creating New Mappings wizard page, drag the target table from Metadata pane and drop it in Target Objects box. Drag source table from the Metadata pane and drop it in Source Objects box. Click here. Drag source table from the Metadata pane and drop it in the Source Objects box. The source columns are mapped with the target columns under a mapping group with the target table name. The mappings can be previewed in the Auto Mapping Preview grid, which gives information about the target and source tables. You can maximize or minimize the Auto Mapping Preview grid, delete source attributes which are not mapped, delete target attributes which are not mapped, and add transformations for the Auto Map. A new map is created and saved under the Mappings tree. All the auto maps in the multiple mapping groups appear in the same sequence in the Mapping Specifications grid. Expand the Additional Mapping Information pane and click the Target Update Strategy tab to enter the Update Strategy description. You can add transformations to an automap and specify whether it is applicable to exact match, orphan source, orphan target, or all rows. Click on Add icon and a row is added to the grid. Double-click the cell under Key column and select the required transformation. Double-click the cell under the Value column and select the value. Select the checkbox to apply the transformation for exact match, orphan source, orphan target, and all rows respectively, and click Save. Note, you can use transformations created under the Transformations node only for business rules. For other transformations, enter the required values. Switch Append to On to enable append mode. The append mode enables you to drop multiple columns from metadata catalog in one row of the mapping specification grid. Drag one or multiple source columns from metadata catalog in mapping specifications under the source column's name. Click on Save. You can view the mapping specification in the Graphical Designer tab to view the graphical representation of the one-to-many mappings. Click on Target Update Strategy to enter the Update Strategy description. That's it. For more information, please visit irwin.com.